Welcome to Super GG Radio's Beta Breakdown, where we break down those betas we talk about every week on the Super GG Radio podcast. Today we have Not Tonight 2, a politically charged game about being a bouncer that we really enjoyed. I am your host, Alex Arona, and with me is my co-host, Joel DeWitt. Hey, Joel, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
So we've been talking about this one for a while. Obviously, this is our second take on this one, which is funny for me. But we are this is months in the making. Not Tonight 2. We both played and reviewed Not Tonight 1 for different publications, and we both really liked it. So we're very excited for part 2.
Absolutely, yeah. The first one was about Brexit. It was a little more scaled back than this one. So the first one was basically you are stuck in the sort of gulags, and you are working for the new British government and taking bouncer jobs basically to pay for your way to survive. And it's like Papers, Please in that sense, where you are checking different things on people's IDs to make sure it matches their information, that it's still valid, that it matches their face, and that they're of age to be able to go into this building.
Yeah.
In that case, the whole time you were mostly going to like one or two bars to try and earn your keep.
I gotta say though, I do like that they still have it's not exactly Simlish from The Sims, but let's listen to the language.
Yep. So, that is one of the funny things, and they all have some form of that voice here, and it's a nice touch, you know.
Can you imagine the voice acting session on this? I'm in the studio. What do you want me to say? Yeah. Okay, got it. I'm in the right. What's my motivation? You're mad.
Do your best Swedish chef.
You're mad, but Swedish chef mad. Okay, got it.
I mean, there is some range you can have in that language.
I'm not downgrading it. I'm getting emotion out of these burpers.
Right. It's like the whole I am Groot thing. Like, how many different ways can you say one sentence and make it work?
That's true.
The crux of this game is that you and your friends are protesting, as one does when your country is going into a downward spiral of civil war. Mm-hmm. I think it's basically civil war happening in this game. And Seattle actually, for a long time, had, and I'm not sure if it still is, was sort of an epicenter of protest last year during protest following George Floyd's murder.
Yeah.
So some of it definitely is sort of true to form. As you saw there, your buddy just got picked up by an unmarked van.
Not Eduardo.
Yeah, Eduardo. The man with no name as far as the government knows now.
And see, at this point, we're getting an overlay map of what I feel like you're going to end up exploring throughout the game.
Yes, and in fact, that is one of the interesting parts of the second game, is how they've expanded what you do in Not Tonight. The base game is still the sort of bouncer work, but they add lots of different little details. They got this map that you end up traveling around in, town to town, as you're trying to go find your friend. And there are these little landmark spots where it's almost kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure book, where you get to these spots, they give you options, and then they give you sort of like the outcome of the choices you make.
Which is cool, because now you have agency to it. You're doing something different.
Right. Yep, exactly. So this is what we are familiar with from the first game. We got rules to follow here. In this case, we just want to check the stamp, and it decides how to process it. And then we want to get a certain number completed. Usually, I think in this case, since it's the first level, it's not going to be too serious.
No.
But we walked up to the queue. In this case, it's not an ID, it's a crime sheet. And then we are seeing if it's block A.
I see that.
We then hit the button.
I mean, he's a terrorist because he was jaywalking.
Yes. I mean, that is the most egregious crime you can have in modern-day America, I think. But, so, shoplifting terrorist.
Yep.
He was being sent to Block B, so we return the card back to him.
Tell him to get out of here. Block
That's
B.
right.
Like, move your behind.
Not worth the time, not worth the paper that your crime sheet is listed on.
Littering. Now that's real terrorist.
I mean, that's a bioterrorist. That's pretty serious stuff.
Exactly.
All right. Moaning.
Get him out of here.
My kids are guilty there. They get to go to Block B too. Come on, get out of here.
Okay. It's always funny that you're pressed for time. There is like a time limit and how many you have to get in.
Right.
But they like make sure that they're having a conversation, so you have to sit through a lot of it. And it's like, oh, okay, they're really pushing me for time.
Right. This intro is really the only time that you're not time limited here.
This is progressing the story for Eduardo.
Right. This is more about a quick introduction about what you will be doing, and then just providing further context about why Eduardo's in trouble. So we need your passport and family tree within 30 days. That is the mission that you're given here.
Old Eddie.
Oh, I forget, was Martyr the name of the secret police in the first game?
I think so.
Okay, all right.
There we go.
They must be a Black Ops private security.
At least he's got friends that are willing to, go and grab all that info, though, the family tree and the documentation stuff.
Yeah, not everybody would feel that obligated, I suppose.
Think Getty would tell me to rot.
Yeah, well, given all that you've done to him, I mean, your crime sheet would be endless.
Oh, yeah. So would.
Made Getty play X amount of betas.
No,
I'd rather be playing Destiny.
He most definitely would rather be playing Destiny when I'm enjoying Not Tonight too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be honest, after the first game, I felt like I had enough Not Tonight. I didn't know how they would expand it to make it more interesting. I had concerns that it'd be basically the same game set in America. And truth be told, a game can easily get kind of preachy when they get into the world of politics and real life stuff like this. And this seems grounded in a way, which is funny given that it is like a Civil War kind of thing. But there are elements of this story so far that feel really true to form, right? And I think that's what makes it really compelling and interesting. And I remember in the first announcements, part of what they had talked about was that we hired writers to try to make sure that we are making this feel like a story set in the United States from the perspective of somebody in the United States, right? And I think they did a good job on that.
Yeah, it feels alive and it feels realistic, and it gives me a reason to want to hold on, there's Dave.
Yep.
Dave.
So one thing I am looking forward to as well is how many times they can call back to the first one. This one's pretty on the head. So the first game, Dave was a pub owner that you did a lot of jobs for, and at the end of that game, what he comes by and tells you is that I'm leaving for America. This whole Brexit thing is screwed. I'm not getting stuck here, and time has not been kind to Dave.
No, not at all.
Let's just put it that way. He still had that Swedish chef talk, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't wearing a cone on his head.
Well, he says that he has had some brain damage.
Are you well?
I mean,
Are you?
yeah, it was a rough ride for Dave from home to Seattle. So,
here we go.
We're actually in the thick of it now, and you can see there are rules. You have to make sure they're over 21.
Okay.
And then these are the different success places. So you pass for that. That's just to get through the level. Bonus 1 and bonus 2, you get extra money if you did that far.
Okay.
Over here to the right, you get deductions for every miss, and then you lose the level if you do 10.
10 failures.
Yep. So one cool thing too. I'm gonna go ahead and hit start.
Yep.
Number 1, you can actually move that.
Oh,
thing,
that's
which
new.
is nice. Yeah, I did not recognize being able to do that in the past. So that I'm pretty sure that's a new one. But our main goal here at the moment is to check for people over 21.
Okay.
And expect me to have problems here because not good at multitasking.
Well, on the plus
So-
side, I mean, I could talk it through. On the plus side, it's January 1st, 2021, meaning that you can just look at it and they have to have been born before January 2nd, 2000. Makes the math
Right.
easy.
Yep. So, and this first one is very straightforward. You're only checking one thing, so it's pretty easy. They don't even ask you to check for inspired ID.
And can I tell you that one of the things that they improved, and they specifically like put this in the marketing, they got a soundtrack that is, oh man, it is making me like I'm shaking my hips right now. Like I want this soundtrack. I would buy it with the game. Pay an extra $5 for that soundtrack.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that kind of, I hate calling it ancillary, but the details, the added layers of good music, more detailed graphics. Because I'm telling you, this landscape is world better and more detailed.
Given their faces are still pixelated as hell.
Right. Yeah, they still look like upgraded Atari characters, but like the backdrop is much better.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, there's been work put into this, and it's clear that knew they needed to make it something more than just the first game repainted in a U.S. sort of post-apocalyptic future.
Oh yeah.
So I'm very pleased by that.
Joel, I can
As
hardly
you
hear
can see-
you over this sick beat.
I hope that song is just called The Honeybee.
Ooh. But I do remember. Oh yeah, the sky's on fire. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah, this is jam. This one was stuck in my head after playing it.
Another thing that's interesting about this
Oh.
game too, on these levels, is that so you can actually click the section to show them where they don't meet the requirement. So that's an example. It's 2003. You return it back to them.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Yep. I don't know that they did that in the first game, or if I just overlooked it. But yeah, you can select the specific details about why somebody's being kicked out.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I ever really did it in the first game, so I couldn't tell you. But it is interesting.
There's the
because
tone. You hit the second, the bonus, the first bonus.
Yes, sir.
You get a little audio cue.
We're cooking with gas. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice because those things sort of add context to the replies you give these people. Because if we'll see if we get another one that's not over 21. Because when you specify, your comments usually reflect what you're specifically kicking them out for.
Oh, okay.
And then if you don't specify, I'm pretty sure he just like yells, "Get out of here" or something.
Yeah. If you look to the right, the second, or not left or right, both cameras, because at a certain point they make you do double cues, but the
Right.
cues actually have the time, so it is 11:33 and it's clock cutting down.
Yeah.
And
so I just sent someone out without
oh,
having anything wrong with their ID. They the bar owner tells you what you did wrong, and I'll show you again just to see the generic message. Yeah, like he just throws a little nondescript comments.
Gotcha.
If it is not specified. But as you can see, we're rolling here just because this is painfully easy, and hopefully we can get at least to one level that is a little more detailed than this. There's actually, so we had looked at sort of a medieval time section at some point, but there's also a part where you go to Canada and you start having to do things like not just checking IDs, but each of them has a poutine choice that they want.
oh really? You have
before
to
they get in.
so you have to serve them poutine.
Yes, and there was some law in Canada that requires establishments to have tickets to pay for poutine up front.
That's real
I
funny.
forget if it's a matter of like there's a poutine shortage and then we have to like pre-order poutine, but either way it does get kind of funny. So we're gonna try to speed up a little bit. And again, there's a little like stats they have to keep in mind too. There's a health stat, there's money,
And morale.
and morale, right? And if the life goes down, you croak. So there are actually things you have to pay attention to. So far from what I've seen, like the the inputs you have to affect those things are a little limited, at least at the start, because the game sort of wants to propel you forward for the most part.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna dip back to do. We have one last job here. All right, there's Dave.
We're not allowed
He's
to
gonna
let Dave in.
He's gonna want to let you in. Yep. Oh, poor Dave. All right, and Tanya's gonna tell you, don't you dare.
Dave's out of control.
Yeah, you know what? He can't surveil people with that cone. That's just a step too far. That's what the government's for.
The cone's the problem, really.
He's not the man. All right, so we're gonna get rolling here, and same rules here. So we're gonna just try to churn through this real quick.
Drop the beat.
So we can see a little bit of Canada here. All right, so she's stepping. Look at that.
Do you think that we'll get copyright strike?
in this video right now?
Yeah.
I hope not. You know, they kept the demo open for me even though it's closed. I feel like that's wow, look at that.
I like his sunglasses, though. Oh, wow. Oh, wait, hold on. Joel and Kelly.
That is an interesting coincidence. So, for the listeners,
I always like it when they brag your name. Yeah, Kelly is your wife name.
Oh, I didn't check the ID. Oh, I didn't check the expiration. That's my problem.
Oh, they're getting you on the expiration date now.
Yeah, they added a wrinkle. How dare I? All right, so that expired 2022. They're plenty old, so we're okay there. But that's what this game does. It slowly ratchets up the complexity of what you're having to look out for, and that's the name of the game, while trying to keep hitting those pass or bonus sections. The bonus sections really do take kind of clutch as these games go on too, because you end up having to pay more for less
For your mistakes.
Yeah. So
And also you have to maintain food and your hunger level and your morale, so then... you know.
exactly, and some of that stuff was in the first one too, so this one's expired. We're gonna give it back to him.
Get out of here.
Yeah, for all that fancy code, you could have paid for an ID. Let's see. You know, in fairness, sometimes I've been forgetful sometimes in the past. Oh, it's Dave.
Nope. Get out of here, Dave.
I don't know, I feel kind of bad for him.
Dude.
Sorry, Dave, I'd let you in, but you're expired. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, you have a reason to. I like his chain, though.
Is that a chain or are they Christmas lights? I kind of feel like they're Christmas lights.
It could be Christmas lights. You're totally right.
Okay, we're good here. I think
I've heard this song on Letterkenny.
you know what? I'm gonna have to take your word for it. It expires. So, yeah, I mean, and the other thing too I'll mention is that the crowd does look more diverse than in the first one as well. Not just from the ethnic side of things, but also just like the outfits and get-ups that they are in. And I suppose some of that might make sense in that the way they presented Brexit in the first one was like, oh, the government's, you know, standardizing, normalizing everything.
And the
the
clothing and everything.
Yeah. Whereas in the U.S., I don't care what happens. People would find a way to express themselves in their outfits and the way they go through life. So I think that makes sense. And it's, you know, I say it's diverse, and then we got like these two guys right here wearing the same damn clothes. So yeah, game, you showed me. But yeah, we're gonna roll through this real quick, and then we'll be able to get a short section of the actual traveling over the world, and then seeing one other venue. And it's too bad we didn't actually get to show some of the medieval times here stuff, because it gets kind of loopy. Like that particular section, you are not just checking IDs, you are making sure that it's no wizards coming in. And
Really?
then also, it gets even crazier because there's actually like wizards are trying to float on balloons up style to try to get over to the building and get in that way. And you have to shoot like the little cannons that pop the balloons out of the sky too.
Oh, wow.
So it quickly gets pretty zany. And I will say it's still not complicated enough to be difficult at that point, but it goes to show you how much they're trying to add variety to what's actually on its face kind of this mundane task-making game.
Well, R.
And that's what that's what they needed to do at this point. Their first one being more of a novel idea, and now expanding upon it into something bigger and what feels like better.
Yes, I'd agree 100% with that. Like I said before, I was not interested in Not Tonight 2 before I played this demo. That was probably the smartest thing they did, was to have that often. Well, I have that chance to have a demo here. So we're going to leave. We finally got our car.
So now to Montana.
Montana. Yep.
And that soundtrack is kicking again?
Montana. So yeah, like I said, it's sort of this kind of Oregon Trail we're going across. We're going to end up with a stop sometime here. Yeah, where that question mark is right there. That'll be sort of a stopping point that it'll have us interact with something. So,
and that's your that's more of your what am I thinking about? Your choose your own adventure situation.
Exactly. So, we have border control.
Okay.
Releasing friendly country. We did question his authority.
That's very funny.
Let's go for it.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
So we got this old Canada ID.
Yeah, use it. See what happens.
So he trusts you just because you have the ID there. All right. So this is the other thing that's happening, is that technically you're trying to free your friend from the government. There's also this third-party system called Map-O that kind of gives you bonus money and rewards if you complete tasks in a certain way or well enough.
Oh,
in these
okay.
different sections. Yeah, so it's presented as like your friend set up this free trial for this thing that actually is kind of invasive to your privacy.
Oh.
And so like there is some questionable motive about why you're getting plugged into this as well. So like it gives you rewards, but from a story conceit, there's right there. The questions are already out there in a mission where you're trying to be kind of covert, right? Okay, let's get to Billings, Montana.
Here we go. Billings.
So, we are now technically in Canada. We're
Montana.
going to find... Yes. We're gonna... So they give you some different things here up there as well. We're to hit explore. We did some story, context, dialogue.
It's the Grizzly
Grizzly
Man.
Man. He looks like Squirrely Dan.
Kind of does, yeah. You know, makes
Oh
sense.
yeah. Speaking of Letterkenny.
Okay,
Right.
with the Grizzly.
Let's see.
Half Canadian.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
The Grizzlies now called the Mountie. Okay.
Yep, Canadians. Syrup guzzlers.
I guess I should have known by the American hat.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on. We got a job here.
There we go. Go to the Mountie.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And this is we're going to be doling out some poutine while we're in the process. The Poutine Relief Act has caused a few issues. Everyone gets free poutine at the door now. Take the poutine and match the sauce to the bowl color. I guess I have not had enough poutine because I didn't know that there were multi-sauce options for poutine.
I think it's kind of how the base is made, you know?
It's like curry.
Yeah,
talking
or like
about.
ramen. So maybe there's different variations on the gravy.
Yeah, I feel like I am too poutine illiterate to know better.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. Here we go. Yellow, red, and green.
Oh yeah. So here's our setup. We got the poutine machine. We've got rules. Make sure it's over 21 and its expiring date is good. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Our little counter's still very American.
Yeah. Is that like in your
don't-
pocket or what?
I feel like it's on your clipboard.
Oh, it is on your clipboard. You know, I see it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
see
right.
what we
so
got
we got
here.
our ID. Got our ID there. We got the poutine. We're gonna go ahead and put that
Okay.
sauce on it. And I think we're good to go.
Would you, if they were expired or underage, do you still give them poutine? Like, here we
Give us-
go.
Like, here's your pity poutine. Is that
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's going to. Would I? I think I might.
It's a consolation prize.
Yeah, and it's a cold winter Canadian night.
Yes.
I guess we're Canadian now, right?
I gotta find the
So-
local Chicago poutine restaurant. Where's the best poutine in Chicago?
You let me know, because I'm gonna be up there soon, and I can go on a poutine misadventure while we're up there.
Okay.
All right, so we got the red stuff there.
We're going. We're grooving.
Yep. So there's a Canadian one. So just for fun, we're gonna put yellow in my drink and let them through.
Uh-oh.
And did they not?
Oh, it's underneath
Wow.
your. It's underneath your. It was underneath your walkie-talkie.
Oh, they mentioned it under there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
I
came up
missed
a little
that
bubble.
Gotcha. Kevin, I'm Mari's friend. She messaged you. Sabbatical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's telling your sob story.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Where are we getting into?
I think that was the lady from the first game. Yeah, Shannon. Shannon's always trying to get up to stuff. Boot her out.
Okay, so she is. That's under 21, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Boot her.
Math is hard.
Boot her.
Yeah. You know what? I'm feeling generous. You're gonna go ahead and come on through.
What? Shot
Yeah.
of control.
Yeah. Doing favors. Gotta grease those wheels.
Yep.
All right. So we got. No, you're expired, bud. Get out here.
Yeah, Shannon was in the first game. Always causing shenanigans.
Ooh, he's trying to bribe us.
What?
Nope, you're no friend of mine.
You know Shannon.
I may even let Dave in here.
Oh no.
He's.
You're
You know what?
You're flying
he
fast
was
and
on-
loose, Joel.
He was on his journey heading back to the good old UK, then I'd consider it. But he's not. And we'll be thinking of you, Dave.
There we go. You're always in our hearts.
While we're keeping warm with our poutine and you're cold and you're sad ship back to.
What kind of nightclub just gives you poutine? I mean, like, I understand like a snack, but like everyone has it. It's gonna get all over the floor. People are gonna be spilling.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like I'm. You know what?
There we go.
Stuff like the sauce on there, it congeals.
Yeah, it does.
eventually. And so, like, you're partying with that stuff. Like, I used to get cheese fries in college, and like I would take it up to my room. By the time it was up in my room, it was one piece of food.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't separate it. You were breaking it off in chunks.
There we go. We got the bonus. Now we're just everything else is all gravy on the poutine. Nailed it. Okay, I think you're probably gonna get one more.
All right, get that gravy.
There we go. Get that
There's
gravy.
there's some bouncing around happening in that car in the corner.
I-
That's pretty.
I keep
pretty
seeing
risque.
it. Yeah, I keep seeing it. I'm not sure what's going on.
Someone's getting grizzly down there.
At the Grizzly, getting Grizzly at the Grizzly.
There you go. So, Mission Poutine was a success for this round.
There we
at least.
go. So that is what we're looking forward to with Not Tonight 2. There's what feels like a good amount of extra story added into what was originally more of like a Papers, Please style game. They've really fleshed it out into something bigger and better. Wouldn't you say that?
Oh yeah, it's like I said, it's gone to not interested to completely on my radar. I am tempted to get this at launch. It seems like it could be really something great.
It's on my wish list. I'm waiting for it. So, well, with that, Joel, I'm gonna say GG.
Good game.
For more content like this, check out Super GG Radio on all podcast services for weekly conversations about betas, demos, news, and clearing out our backlog. You can also find us on twitch.tv/superggradio and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you there.